What's up and welcome back to another video where I document what I have been doing. So what you just watched is a video highlight of a tour that I just took today to Shenzhen. And I have a pleasure of joining a delegation tour organized by the Hong Kong Digital Entertainment Association. And I wanted to use this video to share some of the things that I saw which were quite eye-opening. So basically on the tour, we visited two companies as you can see, which is CMGE and Tencent. So once we arrived in Shenzhen, we first went to CMGE, which is a mobile games company that owns the famous martial arts IP, which is called Legend of Swords and Fairy. And they also develop games for companies like Disney, Universal, and even some well-known anime that you might know, like such as Naruto and One Piece. So CMGE is actually one of the first Chinese mobile game company that was listed in Nasdaq back in 2012, and now they're listed in the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. So according to the company, they have no fewer than 500 million fans for the famous Legend of Sword and Fairy IP. So what was really eye-opening for me is that they're not only just a gaming company, because what happened is that they have developed the IP by building on several pillars. First, which is gaming, which is the basic fundamental thing that they do, and then they expand to comics, culture, content experiences, and immersive experiences, and in media like pop culture and drama and animation, music, utilizing virtual idols and coming up with products like statues and figures. So what I was able to learn is that besides a game that they have, which is really successful, it's not only just a gaming experience that makes it successful, but it is also an ecosystem of building an IP which composed of what I've just shared. And speaking of figures and statues, one thing that I personally find very interesting is that in Hong Kong, we usually see figures based on overseas IP, like for example, Marvel or even Japanese anime. But seeing a figure based on an IP of Chinese fantasy that many Chinese people grew up with is actually very close to home. And especially how, this game and also, the messages it brings from the Chinese martial arts IP is able to facilitate cultural exchange. So I think this is actually really meaningful. One of the really cool things that we saw behind the scene is that they have an upcoming open world RPG game called Sword and Fairy World, and they were able to show us a demo, and this game will be released in January 2025, so it's very soon. So it was really interesting to see how this game is not just a PC game, it's going to be a game on PC and also on mobile. So you can see that there's a lot of optimizations that they have to do in order to make sure that it fits different type of platforms. And one of the really cool things is that we saw how they were able to utilize some of the latest technology in gaming and implement it into certain characters in the world, which I think you should definitely check out when it comes out. So after visiting CGME, we actually went to Tencent's headquarters, the company behind WeChat. And for those of you who do not know, WeChat is the all-in-one application with more than 1.3 billion users as of 2024. And so we mainly visited 4 places. The first one is the showroom, where unfortunately I can only take photos, so you can see that these are all photos that I took. And also the sports floor, where it is a place where there's a gym and then the staff could actually exercise on their leisure time. And the academy floor, where it is a place where staff could hang out and also learn for new courses, equip themselves with new skills, learn from professional trainers. And also finally a souvenir shop. So it's really interesting to see in the showroom some of the latest tech that they have been doing, and they're not only just a application company, they're also a culture company. And I think one of the really cool things is that, especially being a huge fan of Arcane 2 recently, I saw that they were showing Arcane in one of the exhibition. So one of the really cool things is that Tencent Video is actually the platform where they hosted Arcane 2. So people in China will be watching Arcane 2 on Tencent Video platform. So I'm not sure if you know, but Tencent is a huge company. They are also a company that owns League of Legends. So it makes perfect sense to have Arcane being shown on the platform in mainland China. And one thing that really resonated me the most is about cultural preservation. So we entered into a room where there's an XR experience, and then what they did is that they scanned some of the very historic places in China and then use it to replicate it in an XR room, and people can actually walk around, and it uses motion sensor technology to move the view accordingly, right? So that is actually very eye-opening, because that place is not accessible by the general public because of how ancient it is. But they're able to 3D scan it and then to have like a really high resolution view for people to experience in the XR experiential room. So that is something that I think is actually really interesting. So Tencent is a company that started out with QQ, which is a messaging app on the computer. And seeing how they were able to transition from that to being an all-in-one mobile developer is actually very eye-opening, and seeing how there's so many history just within in the past few decades. So definitely I think this is a really interesting tool, and I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. So hope you look forward to the next one.